front. Now we're going to see a little four-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets in the lead on the record.
3x3 entering four.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning at Talladega. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the PGR Intimidator Superspeedway Series here live on Ghost Racing Network. Joining me in the booth again, as always, is going to be co-host Matthew Baker. And we're getting ready, Baker, for what looks like is either tied with or potentially our biggest field so far, over 50-plus trucks. And, man, I'm excited for it.
I'm really excited. Another good field. 53 trucks out here tonight. Cleaned up the racing last week. Looks like we're going to get another good solid run and good qualifying effort by all these guys up front.
Good qualifying efforts indeed. And let's go ahead and take a look at those qualifying efforts, starting with your pole sitter. How about Kevin Freeze? Haven't seen him on the pole in a little while, but he finds himself there tonight. Gabe Butler going to be starting in second. Sean Hill third. Cody Nagels in fourth. Mike Davenport and Jeff Merck making up row three. It's going to be John Mullahan and Dawson Wise making an appearance tonight. He starts in eighth position. Matt Lee, of course, made his return just recently to Money Racing, driver for NBG Motorsports, looking to make a name for himself here again in the PGR Series tonight. Starts ninth with John Ellis Jr. to his outside. That's rounding out your top 10.
In 11th, got a new name, Thomas Parker. You got Dustin Caruthers in 12th. Nash Brambella from PGR in 13th with Heath Job to his outside in 14th. Dylan Bassenback had a great run last week. Really good super speedway racer here in 15th. 16th, you got CVP Chris Vanderplatz and Dylan Jones in 17th. Michael Triscaro in 18th. Series owner John Ward in 19th for McCullough Motorsports, and Richard Elliott rounding up top 20.
Ryan Borboom, that's a new driver. Going to be starting in 21st tonight. We'll see what he can do. Devin Ray in 22nd. Jesse Calloway in 23rd with Garrett Maines. Congrats to Garrett, by the way, making the Firecracker 400, or at least moving on to the next round. We'll see what he can do here tonight. Maybe win himself some big money. Cole Fitzpatrick, 25th. It's going to be Caleb Carter in 26th. How about Andrew Navarro, one of the Road to Pro Series drivers from a couple seasons back? Going to be making another appearance here tonight in the PGR Series. Vicente Guerrero to his outside in 28th. Ken McCall Jr. and Daryl Young rounding out row 15 and your top 30.
David Chief 31st, William Fox in 32nd, Danny Barnes in 33rd, Ryan Bass for Clutch Team Gaming in 34th. You got J.R. Miller 35th, Sierra Clampert in 36th. Go ahead and check out her stream on Twitch. I'll post in the chat here. Andrew Clark in 37th, Joshua McCullough from McCullough Motorsports in 38th. 39th, you got Casey Soul. That's a new name. Haven't seen that one. Jason D. Maines, we see that name all the time. Look for him to be coming to the front starting in 40th.
It's going to be Tony Plakanica, I hope I pronounced his last name right. Another new driver going to be starting in 41st position tonight. Larry Bew starts in 42nd. Alejandro Montes Diaca in 43rd. Brock Westmoreland in 44th. Chad Ross 45th. It's going to be Todd Macy in 46th. Logan York and James Kaufman making up row 24 with Trevor Oswornoth in 49th. Ambrose Knievel rounding out your top 50. Three more trucks in the field tonight, and that's going to be Jackson Byes in 51st. Mark Vondell 52nd. And John Darnell, one of the multiple drivers that's carrying camps tonight, he starts last in 53rd position. Taking a look at your race info, usually pretty much the same breakdown as always. Is let's get this out of everybody's way and try it again here. There we go. Weather outside 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 47% humidity. Cloudy skies, winds at 9 miles an hour. Maybe a little bit of a factor tonight. Track temp, though, is the thing we like to mainly keep an eye on, and it's under 100 degrees, so these guys should be handling just fine. The Truck Series for 45 laps, the Blaster 120 at 60% fuel here tonight. Everybody's going to have unlimited tires, that one crucial fast repair, and as always, it is fixed setups. All right, we're getting ready to take the Green Baker. Who are we looking at tonight to maybe get their first win here in the PGR Superspeedway Series?
I'm looking for John Ellis to maybe keep it on a roll. We get another repeat winner, and he looks for that triple threat to the big money race. He'd be taking home a big payday next week, so look for him to maybe be up front fighting early.
Speaking of big payday next week, we got quite the event going on next week. We'll talk about that later, but here we go. 45 laps. It's going to get started here. Green flag is in the air.
Good battle side by side. Even start here. Look for it to really spread out towards the back. People who want to save their trucks. But up front, usual suspects, along with Davenport with a great qualifying effort from him. You see Kevin move to the top with Gabe. Cody Nagels in tow with Jeff Merck. Look for a three-wide move coming out of the corner. As you see it, Cody moves up with Dawson Weiss in tow with Jeff Merck. Matt Lee comes to the middle. Already seeing NBG move their three trucks to the front while Sean Hill's on the bottom.
And they are already working at 3x3. Boy, it did not take long for these guys to get organized, as we're going to go a little bit of off full screen for just a sec. Get everybody's paints loaded up, but up front and on top, it's Cody Nagels. In the middle, you got Kevin Freese, Sean Hill still on the bottom of the Ghost Racing Network paint scheme. Keep an eye on Gabe Butler, the 88 second truck in the middle. He has been fast time and time again. Just hasn't been able to catch a ton of breaks. I think tonight might be his night, though. Coming to lead lap 1, though, it is going to go to a drag race. But looks like the outside line. Nope, Kevin Freese, he's going to lead your first lap here. And we're going to have a pit stop here, maybe a couple, depending on how quick this thing gets sorted out. Still 3x3, but only for about 4 or 5 rows deep.
Yeah, and very good talent throughout this top 15. You see Garrett Main's already working his way to the back bumper of this lead pack of the 3 wide. Very impressive, him getting up to the front. You got Dylan Basson and Dylan Jones lined up behind him. They're the first car single file. As you see, Cody's going to clear down to the middle line. He's going to control the middle. Look for him to probably drop low once that run comes back. He'll stay on the nose of Kevin. Gabe's going to get his temps cooled down. Just look for everyone to try and take care of each other up front here. Keep their temps down before the stop and keep rolling that way.
Jeff Merck currently sitting just inside that top 5. He's still got a decent amount of work ahead of him here if he's going to want to get to the front. He's going to have to get a big push, but he's not quite going to be able to get clear this time. Down into turn 1, though, Cody Nagels, he is clear with a push from Kevin Freese. In fact, they're both clear. Neither guy going to take it. Now Kevin Freese jumps to the bottom. That's going to put Cody Nagels to fall back a little bit until Gabe Butler can reach his back bumper.
Huge check up in the middle. You see Mark gets a huge push from Dawson Weiss on the outside. He may clear to the middle in front of Kevin Freese. He's not clear. Almost gets clear. John Ellis in the back bumper. Dawson Weiss, great racing up front so far. Triscaro's trying to get to the back bumper here on the outside line. You see Heath Job in the 760 car. That's a new number for him up there with a new paint scheme up front. Kevin Freese, Sean Hill leading this front 2 lines. Mike Davenport has a little bit of internet connection issues. John Mollahan trying to stay off his back bumper. As you see Kevin Freese come to lead this lap. Cody Nagels is clear to the bottom. Look for him to take it in the corner. So is Gabe Butler. They're all 3 clear in the middle. Here goes Gabe. Cody's going to have to stay in line. You see Matt Lee drop to the bottom. A shuffle big time in the bottom line with that big checkup. And
there's a look at Jeff Merck. Boy, he looks like he is tense and ready to go right now. 3 wide, Kevin Freese does get split to the middle, but he's going to get some help from Nash Brambilla. We know he's one of the best of the best, but quickly, he's also going to get some help in the form of the 88 jumping down right in front of him. You know, with this new package, Baker, we saw this a lot during Tuesday Night Thunder just a couple races ago.
Oh, big contact.
Oh, man, that's close. Can they save it? They do. But, man, feisty early. Cody Nagels to the bottom, but not without some close calls there. What I was going to say was with this new package, we know how effective the side draft is, but it seems like now in a pack, they kind of dart around just a little bit more than they used to.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's because people are hooked up bumper to bumper, pushing the pusher. Taking that aggression level up. You see Vicente is kind of in an awkward position, trying to clear up to the middle. Garrett cuts him a little bit of slack. He gets clear to the middle. But you see Sean Hill moves from the bottom to the middle line here. You got Kevin Freese in the back bumper. The top's just starting to fall back just a little bit, but look for Nash to clear up. As soon as he gets it, go up to that 3rd lane, try and lead that 3rd lane. Here he goes.
And it looks like a big snake draft down the backstretch. Everybody following what the driver in front of him does. Jeff Merck, he's a really good pusher. Now that he's on the back bumper of Nash Brambilla, that line's got a really legitimate shot at going to the front. Gabe Butler, he's showing a little bit more aggression tonight than he has in a couple of the previous races. I think he knows he's got the skill to do it. He just needs to show some of that aggression as he goes right back to the middle. Gonna give who I believe used to be his teammate Cody Nagels, but Gabe Butler, he's by himself tonight. Doesn't matter. He leads this race 6 laps in.
Representing Dale Cup well, really good racer. He's just very calm in the league races, so he tried to translate that to the money race, and as you know, you can't do that here. Track position is key, and he is showing that he deserves to be up here. He's one of the best super speedway racers, and he's going to be in there for sure.
There's a look at Cody Nagels. He's trying to get the job done, pushing the 88 right now. Very patient. And you know the thing that I've really loved about Cody, at least the last couple weeks, Baker, and we've seen it, is he's either gotten in an incident. He got in an incident, I believe it was last week, where Race Control had gave him the EOL, and he was heated. We got the interview from him. He sounded like he was ready to rip someone's head off. And you know what he did? He went up there and got the job done with a fantastic finish, and he did that just a couple races ago, not in PGR. So I'm thinking, Cody, there's something to the getting mad mid-race. Fires him up, makes him race that much more aggressive and do that much better in these things.
Absolutely, and he's just such a good super speedway racer. That's why we brought him over to MBG. A great super speedway racer, great friend, and he keeps it calm. He may get mad over the comms, but he doesn't get mad at us, doesn't get mad at his teammates, never blows up on anyone, so he's a great teammate to have around. As you see Alex drop to the bottom, get some temps, gonna try and clear up. Trasquero's getting into the back bumper of Cody. It's gonna split up the teammates between the bottom and the top line, but Trasquero, another one. Last 2 weeks, he's been running really well. I'm looking for a good finish out of Michael Trasquero. I'm calling my shot. I think he gets the win tonight.
And it seemed like everything was going perfect for him last week. In fact, we kind of had our money that he'd get the win. Unfortunately, at the end, things did not quite work out, and he just missed it. But he's looking to see if he can get right back in it here tonight. The guy up here that kind of catches my attention, almost a dark horse pick now, it seems like it's the same every week. You know, the guys that we see up in the front are the guys you usually see in the front that know that you got to be aggressive from the get-go. Vicente Guerrero kind of making a return here. Impressive to see him up front running like this, but the man that has caught my attention is the 98 truck of Dawson Wise. He has not been out here really seeing these guys. This is kind of a one-off deal, and he's been doing a heck of a job so far. Currently runs about 6 truck on the outside line, but Michael Trasquero to the front on the outside, Sean Hill just below him in the middle.
He's got help from one of the best pushers in the game. You got Kevin Freeze behind him. He will lead this lap. He will try and clear to the middle line. Kevin's going to stay on the back bumper. Nash is going to stay tucked to him. Nash, another quiet driver, loves to run up front, but we don't really talk about him a lot. Hasn't been putting together finishes. You see Kevin Freeze gets him a little bit loose. They all save it again. Great saves by everyone there. Just kind of looked like that offset push out of the corner. Got Trasquero a little bit loose. Didn't hold on to the wheel like he wanted to, but hey, he still led that lap.
You know what? I haven't even thought about it because we've been going this long, but we have been 3 wide from the get-go. And the racing so far this week has blown out of the water what we've seen the last 2 weeks. Cody Nagel's back to the inside. He's going to drop his teammate, and I think that's a move to try to get NBG to clog up 2 of these 3 lanes off of turn 2. Matt Lee's got a handful further back. How about the run from Dustin Carruthers right now in that 10 truck? One of the guys you talk about, well, we all talk about getting better and better each week, and he is not disappointing so far. Mike Davenport runs up there. John Mullahan just behind them. And in the middle, how about the paint scheme from the 760 truck of Heath Joe? Boy, that's pretty sick looking.
Absolutely. New paint scheme, new number, looking for some more luck. See Cody Nichols clears up to the top, get the NVG lined up in that middle line. All they're doing is just manage to test. Garrett Maines makes a bold move to the outside there. He's going to try and get lined up with Trasquero. Trasquero's going to give him a good big push. Garrett Maines started way back in the bag. So did his father, Jason, coming on the middle line as well with John Ellis trailing.
Yeah, Garrett's one of the best though, so no surprise. And, you know, the best thing about being that good is you know that a lot of people want to go with you because they know you're going to the front. Looking a little bit more towards the middle pack, Sarah Clampert already up 9 from where she started in 27th position. Danny Barnes trying to work with her. He sits up 5 from where he started. And if we go further back in the pack, looks like Jackson Bies may have had an issue. He was not able to start the race. Mark Vondell, you see, not with the pack. And the last truck in the pack right now is going to be Tony Placanica. Again, I hope I'm saying his last name right. There's John Darnell, another one of the drivers that's carrying it on board here for us tonight. In fact, let's take a look. He's got one of the cooler rigs. He's got the direct drive Fanatec. You see he's making it work to the inside right now. Ooh, he's got some internet issues. You can see it on track and in his driver cam right now as it's freezing up. He's going to have to hope he can get that sorted out before this thing's all said and done here tonight.
I'm just really impressed with the racing right now. I see Garrett Bates going to get a run on the outside, but love watching all these cars race clean 3x3. And, you know, next week we've got the big money race in the SummerSlam 75. I'm hoping to see the same racing out of everyone once we go back green for $750 guaranteed to win.
Yeah, you know what? Big money race is a small way to put it. And for the people back home, I mean, it is what it sounds like, right? $750 to win, but think about it this way. If there was only one driver, heck, even 10 drivers that show up, you figure $34 entry, that only puts us about $340. Still $750 going to be guaranteed to the winner, no matter a driver count. Plus, of course, the additional payouts all the way through 10th place. Going to be a longer race. I think there could be some strategy as what we might see here tonight. And I'm hoping we're going to get a sellout, and it is going to be a fun. We're going to have a little bit of extra for it in the broadcast next week, and we are certainly getting excited. And hey, I won the prelude race, so I got a free entry. We're going to be giving that away in some fashion, so somebody out here is going to be getting a free entry into it next week. We'll just have to figure out how that goes. But how about the field tonight, Baker? 53 trucks, and now we're going to wreck.
Caution to the inside. They all wreck off the wall. Dylan Batson into the wall. Caution's going to come out.
Nicely done by Race Control. I like what I saw there. I don't think that was an iRacing caution, Baker, because that was off the track, but I think Race Control got that out really quick, and it's going to contain this to 3 trucks. When you see 53 trucks, that's kind of a big deal that we only had 3 trucks involved in that.
Yeah, it just looks like a push gone wrong. Mollahan's going to have to tow to the back. Dylan Basson disconnecting for the night already.
That's a
even
tough
gonna give
break.
it a
He's got a
shot.
fast repair too. Yeah, and looking the chopper view. Ooh, that's a tough break. Just a little bit of a hook again. You know, it's nothing intentional. These guys are all trying to help each other out. Unfortunately, sometimes with checkups and different things. In that case, Mullihan gets turned around. Nothing of his doing. The 98 of Dawson Wise. He was having a good night. This is going to set him back a ways. But again, everybody's got a fast repair, so nobody's out of it just yet here.
Yeah, it just looks like the 43 went to check up. Instead of checking up off his bumper, he tried to go offset, and when he went offset, just kind of got into the right quarter panel. John Mullihan, and then the chaos ensued behind him.
And man, that's probably for the best that ended up going down the track. Or else that could have collected a lot more trucks than it did. Yeah, that was a hard hit for Dylan Basson. He definitely got the worst of it, whole front end torn off. But you know, he does have a fast repair, so I'd be surprised that he disconnected. Even if you tow, you go maybe a lap or two down, you're right back in this thing. And a couple cautions from now, but either way, our first wreck of the night. Let's take a couple more views of it here. And I believe Bryce, by the way, while we're under caution, should be in later. He's got a pretty exciting announcement for everybody, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll keep an eye on that announcement for when it comes. And tell you what, that view did not do any justice there, so we're going to go to a better one here. Let's ride on board here with Dylan Basson. As we talked about, he probably got the worst of it. Yeah, here we go. Let's ride on board. And it actually does look like he may have returned to the track here, at least from what the data is saying. We'll have to see.
It still looks like he's disconnected from the server at this point.
And there's the initial hit from the 8. Boom, there's the secondary hit. I'll give you one more ride on board here with John Mullihan. Back it up, and this is kind of one of those ones, nothing he can do. Oh, yeah, sure enough, that kind of confirms that checkup. It was a pretty good checkup, too. You heard him out of the throttle for probably about half a second or so before that contact was made. I think that might be a fast repair from Mullihan as well. But you know what I like about these new trucks, Baker, is the damage model. I mean, the last race, I want to use the last race because it was a perfect example of this. I got involved in one of the first wrecks of the race, had 4 minutes worth of damage, but all my RPMs were still good. And the reason I say that now is because I had no front end. Dylan Bass and a couple of these other guys, I know they're using their fast repair now, but the damage in these trucks, as long as you don't get any engine damage, they're really good when you repair them. They still feel like they can compete with just about anybody out there. And that keeps, I think that helps keep everybody engaged and very aggressive.
Absolutely. Looking out in the chat, looks like Autumn Jones says, let's go Vanderplatz number 21. You got 53 people. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this. I think it is tied with the most people we've had in the server at once. Pretty awesome. And Angel says, was good till we got a caution. Well, we're open for no more cautions, or at least limited. But what happens in these races is cautions just breed cautions. Aggressive level picks up. The pit window gets a little bit smaller, so you're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing coming.
And I'm really hoping not, because that racing that we just saw there was absolutely phenomenal for the 10 laps or so that it lasted. A couple other people in the chat. Casey Phillips was rooting on Garrett tonight. Robert Miller for McCall Motorsports. Logan York, one of our drivers, carrying an onboard. And Devin Ray says, give him hell. Looks like Baker's mom was rooting us on, and Ron Morse Jr. watching, rooting on his team. Let's go, McCall Motorsports. Justin Witt, Logan T. Hope you guys are all having a great night. Bear Palm. And Chris Carter says, hello from Columbus, Ohio. How's it going? Couple reminders, your top 3 super chatters as of recent, and that's going to update right now. Is Chris Carter coming in with the $3 super chat donation to get us kicked off here just about a third of the way through this race. Thank you, Chris Carter, with the $3 super chat. Now, that announcement later could be exciting for some of you. We'll have to see how it pans out. But your top 3 super chat donors are still John Mullihan, Richard Elliott, and was Baker's mom at the start of this race. Couple other things, though, to note here as we're getting ready to go back green. Let's talk about your top 5. How about Sean Hill, Garrett Main 2nd, Kevin Fries in 3rd, Michael Triscaro still hanging around the top 5 4th, and Cody Nagels currently rounding out your top 5. Now, John Ellis Jr., I want to talk about him for a minute, Baker. He seems like he's been one of those guys where he's turning into Dylan Jones, where he just sneaks up on you out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he works together with Dylan Jones to get to the front. You never see them coming, but as soon as they get there, they are there to stay. And they're lined up pretty well. I mean, you've got Jason in front of John, and then you've got Dylan to the inside, 1 row back. So look for them to get hooked up pretty quick, get to the outside, try and get to Garrett, who's, I don't think he's going to leave that top line for as long as he can until the temps start to run out for Triscaro.
And there's a look on board with John Ellis Jr. Going to be starting here from the 16th position outside of row 8. Got a lot of work ahead of him, but Baker, I think at this point, we're still potentially expecting a pit stop, so we could still have some strategy involved.
I definitely still have a pit stop left. We've only got about 19 laps in the tank, and we're only on lap 15, coming to 16 now, so we definitely are going to have another stop here.
And just as we get ready to go green, how about it? Baker's mom says, I'll take a step forward. Thank you very much with the $10 donation. Moves right back ahead of Chris Carter. Dang. I'll tell you what, Baker, I think that's probably because you're in the booth with me here tonight. She appreciates the job you're doing, and we always appreciate you being here. But thank you very much, Baker's mom, with the $10 super chat.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. Getting focused to the action back on hand here. And, you know, if we can finish this off as a good, clean race here, I'm telling you what, Baker, I think that sets us up, puts us right in the driver's seat for one of the best races we're going to see all summer for next week. Man, I can't wait for it, but I'm more excited right now for this restart. NBG Motorsports and the Mains boys lining up row one. Michael Triscaro, keep an eye on him. Here we go.
Coming to the Geico restart zone. The green flag is going to come back out in the air. These cars are going to fire back up. We've got differing strategies I'm hearing on the radio when it comes to fuel. NVG is looking to probably run it out as the Mains boys look like they want to pit a little bit early. But we got another super chat from Ron Morris, another $10. Thank you.
Hey, you kidding me? I can't even keep up here. Ron Morris Jr. with the 10 right after Chris Carter rapid firing it with another $4 donation. We are already up to about $30. Holy moly. Thank you guys so much. Ron sending the sticker. Back on track, though, side by side. Kevin Freeze on the bottom, Sean Hill up top. And if Garrett gets clear here, does he drop down? He's also got the option to move up to that third lane. But right now, he seems to be pretty content. And there it is. He's going to drop down to the bottom to the inside of Sean Hill. He goes. Michael Triscaro, not sure if he got pushed out of line or if he decided to go up, but that's going to send him back a couple rows where he awaits some help from Heath Job.
Looks like he maybe got shoved up there by Matt Lee. As you're going to see, 4 wide. Through the tri-oval, Jeff Merck is getting the push from Jason Maines. He's got John Ellis Jr. on the back bumper of Jason. 4 wide coming to the start-finish line for 5th on back.
And how long can this work? 3 wide, but only about 2 rows deep. Jeff Merck is on the move. Heath Joe, Michael Triscaro trying to hold him off, but it's only 2 trucks. You got to wonder how long that can last. Now Michael Triscaro can't make up his mind. He jumps up to the top, now back to the bottom and up to the top again. But up front, Kevin Freeze, he's dicing around a little bit as he moves up, and it looks like that 4th lane is going to start to now condense back down into a 3rd one.
Garrett got hung out by MBG there. You see Matt Lee getting pushed from Sean Hill. Cody Nagel's up top with Triscaro and Merck behind. Great racing up front. You see Sean Hill drop to the bottom. He's got Gabe Butler on his back bumper. Vicente Guerrero, another great super speedway racer over at the OP Series, runs with Gabe all the time, races against him. Look for them to probably work together, have a little alliance.
You see Cody really trying to get a side draft off the 23. It's really effective when it works. When it doesn't work, sometimes it goes wrong. That's where we can see a little net code. And I'm hoping I'm not giving it the commentator shinks, but we have not seen much net code tonight. That's a good thing. How about Matt Lee for NBG Motorsports now back up front, leading the way here 18 laps in. Didn't have the best race before this as he didn't really have many teammates left at the end. But he's certainly having a good one so far here tonight. The driver out of Clinton, Maine, is getting a big push from Kevin Freeze. But those 2 teammates of Garrett Maines and Kevin Freeze, I was going to say, they're not going to be that patient for too long. And sure enough, they're going to execute a beautiful move as they both jump to the bottom. Watch for 1 or 2 of them to jump right back up to the middle here and put themselves back in control.
Yeah, it's going to stack up the middle line. Matt Lee had to get the push from Nash Brilla. Nash Brilla gives a great push to him. They're lined up, stacked up on the middle line, really controlling this race. Kevin Freeze doing a great job up front. Look for Gabe Butler to maybe get a push from Vicente. Vicente's been running really hot. The first 4 cars in the middle line are clear. They're 3 wide behind those first 4 cars.
And these guys picked up right where they left off in terms of the great racing. Interesting how those 4 trucks kind of break away. That tells me that the middle has been the dominant line so far here tonight. I think the middle or top is usually the preferred place to be here at Talladega. Of course, with that start-finish line probably being about 100 yards or so past the tri-oval, something that we don't see at Daytona. But still 3x3 up front. Vicente Guerrero now moves into the 3rd position on the bottom line. Jeff Merck still up here. Dustin Carruthers up to 4th on the inside line. You got Jason Maines all the way up top. He sits a little bit further back. He liked to get locked up with his teammates. Now this 3-wide pack, it's not the only pack, Baker. We're starting to break things up just a little bit. Not sure if this was something that happened on the restart. You see Sierra Clamper kind of leading the 2nd pack that's trying to catch up. She is still up 9 from where she started. She's got Andrew Clark just behind her with Ambrose Knievel for Blind Squirrel Racing. And Logan York, another driver carrying an onboard camp tonight. Let's take a ride on board with him for just a minute, and we'll go on his onboard here as well. Let's see what he's looking at. Actually, no, it looks like he is opted out of the driver cam last second. Must have had an issue. Either way, if we go a little bit further back, Thomas Parker in the 51, I believe that's one of the KSR boys. He's having an okay night, but he's still got a lot of work ahead of him. And you know who we haven't had a chance to talk too much about tonight because they haven't been too far towards the front yet is McCall Motorsports.
Yeah, they've been hanging back, biding their time. They tried to get up front in these past couple weeks. They've done a great job, but after John Mollahan got spun there in that first caution, you see McCullough Motorsports really biding their time, but you're seeing David and Kenny start to make their way to the front. You know, time's running out when it comes to getting to the front for the pit stops because there are about 20 trucks in front of them. I mean, it is absolutely insane, great racing going on. And what I'm seeing from Sean is he learned from the last time where he cleared up to the middle. He didn't let the teammates clear. He's just going, working top to bottom, keeping those temps cool. Garrett Main's going to get to the back bumper. Kevin Gabe's not going to get there in time, though. Sean Hill checks up a little bit. That's what you got to do to get them back to the bumper. Going to cause a little bit of a stack-up effect, but it's going to let that bottom line roll.
Man, they're starting to get a little bit out of shape, Baker. You can tell intensity is picking up. We got one in the wall out back. I think it might have been Ryan Baste, one of the Clutch Gaming Team drivers. Looks like everybody's going to hold it together for now. How long can they hold it? That was in turns 3 and 4. Still trying to figure out. I think it could not tell. It might have been Ryan Baste. Back it up just a little bit here and see if it was. And there is a couple of McCall Motorsports drivers. No, it was not the 73. It's going to be further up here. Who was it? Oh, was it the 99 of John Darnell? It's really hard to tell. No, it's going to be William Fox, actually. Does he just get a push here? Oh, yeah, it looks like the 52. Oh, no, he gets door slammed from, it looks like John Darnell.
Back up front right, Gabe Butler into the wall, down to the infield, one truck off. We're going to stay green, though. Looks like it was a bad push from Garrett to Kevin, got down into Sean Hill, and then Sean Hill got Gabe sideways.
Oh, man, that's a tough break. We were just talking about how good he had been doing all night in the 88. He's got smoke rolling out the back, and unfortunately for the 88, that's going to mean taking it to the garage and using one of those fast pairs. Let's take a look back at it here. You heard Baker with the call, and... Ooh. Ouch. Gets door slammed in the sense of nothing he could do there, locks it up, but that inside wall, when you get turned like that, man, there's just no avoiding it. Now, let's watch this from the chopper cam. This is where things are going to get a little bit more interesting, if you will. Here we go. Does he get? I know he got hit, and it was from the outside. We knew that. Yeah, just a little bit of an offset push. That's an odd look, Baker, because Kevin Freese looked pretty squared up, but even if he wasn't, you wouldn't expect it to abruptly turn a truck that bad on the straightaway.
Yeah, just sometimes with these setups, and once the tires start to go, the back ends of these start to wiggle a little bit. Kevin Freese clears down to the bottom. You've got the Mains boys lined up 1-2 on the outside and inside, and then you've got MVG right behind them. Vicente Guerrero still having that great run along with Dustin Carruthers.
And there's Garrett Maines still leading that outside line. Sierra Clampert, she has led that pack all the way up, and now she is back in the mix, sitting in the middle, probably about 7 trucks deep or so. Now, pit stops, Baker, they're starting to become more and more of a reality here as we almost went full wide, but it looks like J.R. Miller and Jason Maines get it sorted out. The 7 of Danny Barnes, he's having a great night as he continues to move through the field. Mike Davenport in the 55 trying to catch the back of Dylan Jones, but Dustin Carruthers, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes if you stay in the same lane, the same spot, things just kind of clear the way. The seas kind of part, and I feel like that's been the case for the 10 truck here tonight as he sits 3rd and 6th position overall, and he has made up some positions tonight from where he started, up 6 from where he started, but your biggest mover inside the top 10 is going to go to Vicente Guerrero, up 24 from where he started. Garrett Maines not too far back, 21 from where he started. And Sierra Clampert now up 26 positions from where she started as she breaks into the top 10. Kevin Freese drops down to the bottom. How many more laps before pit stops?
Pit stop's got to be coming anytime soon. I think you're in the window in about 3 laps to cover the green-white checkers. So I think you'd be seeing people come down in 3 to 4 laps here.
Sean Hill back in position to push. So NBG and the Mains boys, they've been very dominant tonight. And since we haven't talked too much about McCall Motorsports, let's go back and see what's going on here. I think there must have been an issue at some point between the green flag and where we're at now, because all these guys have fallen so far back. Michael Triscaro has kind of got shuffled to the back of this pack now. He runs behind the 81 of Nash Brambilla. In fact, let's hold up for a minute at Nash Brambilla. Excuse me. Go a little bit further up to Daryl Young. We had already talked about Nash Brambilla earlier. He fell back, but Daryl Young on the other side, he's been going in the positive direction. He is up 12 from where he started, and he is another one of the drivers carrying one of our onboard cameras tonight, and he's got the nice-looking background. There he is. Nice, cool, calm, and collected here with 20 laps to go, which is surprising because it's crunch time, and you can tell even with pit stops just over the horizon, we still got 3 wide action as J.R. Miller's trying to make a run to the front with the 43 truck.
And Kevin is doing a great job controlling the lines, keeping the temps down. Sean looks like his damage may be hurting him a little bit on the bottom. Not too bad. It looks like it's door flush, so I don't think it's too big of a problem. He can go in and get it fixed off whenever we possibly have a caution. But we're hoping for some green flag stops. Look a little bit of strategy, see who can get on and off pit road really good. Hopefully McCullough Motorsports boys get a recovery. That way they can get into the fight here.
Yeah, they might be a couple of guys looking for a caution too. You see a couple of McCall logos towards the back of this pack, including David Sheets and Ken McCall Jr., maybe a couple more mixed in. Devin Ray currently running towards the back, and John Mullihan is currently being scored as your first truck a lap down. Joshua McCall tailing on to lead pack. So, you know, we've kind of seen McCall Motorsports switch between that strategy of playing it conservative and not. Here's a move, though, from Sierra Clampert. She jumps to the top. She's been taking notes these past couple weeks. She knows if you want to get a win here, you got to be aggressive when it counts. And just as she gets up top, Jason Maines is going to throw the block. Those two are looking to go to the front.
Well, she's got to get lapped onto the back bumper. You know you have to push the pusher to get going, get that line formed up. Cody Nagels look to maybe hop up here in front of Jason Maines once he gets to that 3 wide, get to the outside of his teammate Matt Lee. Matt Lee may also look to go up top as well.
And I am loving, and I tell you, loving the green flag racing that we've seen tonight. So is Ron Morris Jr. in the chat. It says good green flag runs, and at this point, there's not too much that could ruin this race in the sets up. These guys have done a heck of a job up to this point. Sierra Clampert still trying to make some progress forward, but it looks like a couple more takers are going to jump up and stop that progress. Matt Lee, Cody Nagels, if the 7 of Danny Barnes can't get to Garrett Maines and Kevin Freeze, they might have a big run, and we might see a change for the lead, at least in terms of that middle line here down the backstretch. Got to think, though, these guys are going to have to start getting lined up sooner or later for pit stops. And what's the strategy in trying to go about that? Oh, we got a couple swerving. Oh, man, everybody hang on. We're going to wreck.
43's around. Checks up the whole field. No caution so far.
They're still wrecking, though, as Logan York, now the caution flies. I'll tell you what, though, Baker, again, it was not a big wreck. It only took 2 trucks, and I don't even think they're damaged too bad. Good news on that side, but that just looked like a racing incident, and everything just kind of got clogged up.
Yeah, look like a real stack up. Like Sierra Clampert got a push from the back that stacked everyone up towards the back, and then nothing that anyone else could do behind there besides try and check up, get out of the way.
Now, the 43 of Cole Fitzpatrick, he's been having a pretty good night up to this point. This might hinder him a little bit, and he was involved in that first wreck, or made contact at least. And as always, we're going to check the chopper cam. Actually, let's go to the chase for this one. And this is with Logan York. He's going to see this just in front, but actually, let's go up to Cole Fitzpatrick, because this is more where this is going to start. So the checkup's already happened here. You see that's Daryl Young on the inside, but we'll go from the checkup here. Yeah, it's a big checkup. In fact, Sierra, oh man, she was wheeling that thing as she almost had to go 4 wide. They all hold on to it initially. Is there going to be a little net code here? Nope, just looks like Cole Fitzpatrick. Not sure if he got loose or maybe thought he was clear, but he just drives it down. Daryl Young was there. They get together on the left rear, and then people trying to avoid it. Logan York and Ken McCall Jr. are the two. They're going to get together and slide up the track on this one. Take a couple more looks at it.
Well, now it's going to be all out. It's everyone is going to be in their fuel window. Everyone's good to go. You're going to see 3-4 wide action to the finish here. Great run from Sierra Clampert in the top 10. Dustin Carruthers, as we mentioned. Daryl Young with a good move up. Some names that we haven't seen up here, and then some names that we're always familiar to coming up to the front here.
As we move this cam a little bit further ahead here, you see the wreck towards the back of your screen again. I don't even know if either of these guys are going to have to use their fast pair. If anybody does, I think it might have to be Ken McCall Jr. as he got the front end damage. Usually the worst place to get it, but it's going to be the race off of pit road here. Kevin Freeze right now is your leader, but we're going to go ahead and wait till they get out. On that note, we're going to take a quick side-by-side break. We'll be right back with interviews and more here from Talladega. run. Now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets in the lead on the wreck.
3x3 entering
3 at the flag stand, side by side. It's going to be Jason Maines winning at Talladega. Back live here at Talladega Superspeedway, and we got an interview from the man that is not only in position to get a win here tonight. Well, I mean, obviously he's in position to get a win, but if he does get the win, according to Baker here, sounds like he is going to complete the trifecta challenge and would get an extra $150 on top of the $200 he'd win here tonight, and that is John Ellis Jr. John, you got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, I mean, it sounded like when we pulled you in, you may not have known that either, so you got to be a little bit extra excited now, a little extra motivated. What are you thinking?
I guess I got to go win it at all costs.
Well, thinking about it a little further here, no more pit stops, so things are going to get really crazy here. Do you think about 3-wide right from the get-go, or do you worry about trying to maybe find your teammates to get linked up first?
I don't know. I don't know if 3-wide right from the get-go is the right move. I'm going to see how it works, see if maybe Lee will jump up first and I can get behind Kevin. But if that doesn't happen and that third line starts forming, I think me and Jason are going to have to take it.
All right, well, I'm telling you what, man, normally I wouldn't be saying this because part of that trifecta would be coming out of my wallet, but I'm really rooting for you for this. Go get it done here tonight, and hopefully we're seeing you with an extra 150 in victory lane.
Yeah, 10-4, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us.
Yep.
And I hate to correct you, Austin, but I think it is. If he wins this week, he'll be in the running for the trifecta for the big race next week, so that would be a huge payday.
Oh, and you had me so excited too, Baker. Man.
Come on, guys. Now I don't have an excuse to wreck everyone.
We didn't even get a chance. Man. Well, I'll tell you what, John. You get the win here tonight either way. It's going to be a good one.
Yes,
all right, John.
sir.
Thanks for talking to us, bud.
Send it back up there. Just before we... Actually, we're going to hold. We got Bryce in here now with an announcement for Ghost, but we're going to go ahead and I think have to hold it here unless we get a delayed green. Let me check. Oh, we are going to get a delayed green. Sure enough. So Bryce is in here, and Bryce, I believe you got an announcement.
I think he's deafened right now, so he can't hear us.
And the boss man needs to get with the program here. We got him set up. Anyway, other things. Got some more people in the chat. Looks like Angel's been in here for a little bit, I believe. Again, 3 or 4 huge super chats tonight. Absolutely insane from you guys. Me and Baker appreciate it a ton up here in the booth. Chris Carter started us off with a $3 donation. Baker's mom said, no, thank you. I'm going to hop to 10. Ron Morse Jr., not here tonight, but he says, I'll throw in my support with the $10 donation. And then Chris Carter comes right back with another $4 donation. Don't forget, Ghost Racing Network does now have the memberships that you can join. I believe it's maybe 5 or 6 a month. And you do get a couple extra perks with that here in the chat. You'll get your messages highlighted and some other stuff. And we don't have a member for it yet. So to be honest, I'm kind of curious what goes on with it. So we'll have to see when somebody does go ahead and sign up for it. But getting back to the racing here tonight, I cannot say enough about how proud I am of all these guys. It's been a rough couple of weeks, but and to think with the bigger field that it'd be cleaner so far here tonight, the only thing that worries me here, Baker, with no more pit stop, these guys have less to think about, and now all that's on their mind is that the pay window's open, all the money's on the line, and we'll have to see what happens here.
Absolutely. I'm excited to watch this race. I'm excited to hear the announcement from Bryce here soon.
Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and make it now. So a lot of guys have been asking for this, and I finally had the time to sit down and do it. We now have merch that I made. I'm still going to be making some designs for some of the other shirts. I need to put Austin's logo. I need to put the Mix logo in for the Ghost Racing Network. That's on the Discord for that logo. But we have that, shirts, stickers, cups, hoodies, a lot of other stuff too. But I finally did make that, so y'all can support the channel from that. Again, I tried to go the cheapest way with it, so we have 2 different shops, but I actually post those links in here for y'all to do that. Again, that will still be updated, so you'll start seeing some more designs come in as I have time to sit down and actually really get like some time to do it, because I was about ripping my hair out doing it earlier because it was taking me forever.
Well, they look pretty sick off the start. I'm certainly excited, and hey, who knows, maybe when we get that 1,000 sub mark, might have a little Ghost Racing Network care package or something to give away. We'll have to see. Thanks for the announcement, Bryce, and we'll be keeping an eye on it.
All right, man. Well, I will hop out of here. I'll go ahead and post those links in the chat, though, if you are interested in it.
All right, here we go. Just in time as the pace car is going to pull off, takes the hard left turn. Sean Hill, Kevin Freeze, row 1. Garrett Maines, Matt Lee, row 2. Vicente Guerrero and John Ellis Jr. in row 3. We are back green, 13 laps to go at Talladega.
Another great even start. You see Matt Lee giving a good push to Kevin. He knows if he goes up to that top line, he's going to get hung out by the Maines boys. They're lined up by 2 behind him and in front and right below him as well.
It's not going to take us very long to get 3 wide, but the question is who's going to strike first. Out back, they're still disorganized, but Sean Hill's going to jump right up to the top. He wants to either be in that middle or top line. That puts Garrett Maines to the lead on the bottom with a push from Vicente Guerrero, and Cody Nagel's trying to sneak back up there in the mix as well, but here comes John Ellis Jr. 3 wide right away, and he does have a teammate with him. We'll see if Kevin Freeze or Garrett Maines can get locked up to make it 3 of those trucks in a row.
Oh, Cody bailed out, looked for a quick clear between Matt and Merck there. You're going to see MBG get lined up by 4. You're going to see the Maines boys line up. Garrett Maines is clear to the middle. He's going to take it, try and stack up that middle line, give his teammates the run that they need. Look for Sean Hill to look for an advantage to split 4. They're getting a little bit hairy in the back. Teammates have to go 4 wide. Jeff Merck's going to get shuffled back here.
Wow, that was really sketchy through 3 and 4. I thought that was going to be a wreck for sure. Sierra Clamper, she's still up in the mix, going to be moving up to that 4th truck on the inside line. 3 by 3 for 3 rows deep here at Talladega. 12 laps to go, and I think anybody that's sitting to the back, I think it's go time. I think you got to start making your way to the front right now if you want a chance at the big payouts up for grabs here tonight.
Absolutely go time. It's great to see Nash Brambilla up here giving a great push on the bottom line. I love having him on my back bumper anytime I'm in a money race or anytime I'm in officials. He's a great pusher, great guy to be around. And you see Dylan Jones, the closer, coming in a little bit late, but he's here to stay.
Taking a ride on board here with Richard Elliott, one of the guys carrying an onboard camp for us here tonight at a Little River Academy. One of the JVRU racing drivers over in one of the leagues that I broadcast. He doesn't have any teammates tonight, but he's playing it patient here, and I think he's maybe thinking what a lot of us are thinking. This cannot end too well. We might have one more big wreck before this thing's all said and done, because after all, we still have 50 trucks running in this event with only 1 truck being lapped down. Actually, a couple being lapped down, 1 truck out of this event. John Mullihan did not get the lucky dog, it doesn't look like, on that last one. Oh, there we go, wreck. Can he make it through this? Richard Elliott on the brakes, still on the outside, trying to sneak through it. And it looks like he does, and it is calamity on the backstretch. Sierra Clampert, oh man, we were talking about the night she was having. Oh, that's a tough break. Man. And that's destroyed Baker. I think that's going to be a fast pair for her.
It looks like just off the corner, Hill comes up just a tad bit. Kevin is to the back bumper of Hill, and then once he's on the left side, it just kind of hooks him down. Everyone scatters beneath.
Yeah, let's check this out from a different angle. Again, you know what? Normally this is where I'd be a little upset. I'm not mad. The racing 3 wide for that long, phenomenal. These guys are doing a heck of a job. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, Baker, but was that not the exact same incident we saw between Kevin and Alex earlier?
Yeah, it just looks like the connection issue that we talk about. Sometimes some people just have, bad bumper-to-bumper connections. So it just looks like what happened there.
Yeah, and unfortunately this time it doesn't stay down. It comes back up, and again, just calamity. Richard Elliott did a heck of a job getting through it, though, as everybody else piles it up on the backstretch. We had a couple of big hits to the inside wall. Eventually does all slide down as they're still wrecking back here. Looks like Gabe Butler and the 9 truck of Casey Soul. They're going to make a little bit of contact in that. Oh, man, Cody Nagels, he's not going to be too pleased about that one. Was through it, and then Nash Brambilla turning back up. Cody T-bones him, had absolutely nowhere to go. Let's take a couple more shots of this before we go back live, but it is going to be crunch time, Baker. This might put us in a restart with either close to or under 5 to go. And there's the big wreck, guys, trying to miss it. Oh, man, Devin Ray kind of gets squeezed into the outside wall there as well. As it just becomes chaos when everybody's trying to miss it. Daryl Young, you saw him slide down to the inside wall, but there's Richard Elliott and the O2 Beast Machine sneaking through it. You saw it all live when we were riding on board with them. Going back live, though, it's Matt Lee up in front. And we should not be getting the 1-go signal this time. Sure enough, we don't. So it's probably going to be about a 7-to-go restart. Andrew Navarro, haven't talked about him too much tonight, but he is now up here in the top 5, ready to go for a win. Can't tell if that right front has some damage or if that's just the way it looks. No, it looks like it's damaged. We'll have to see how bad that affects him. Garrett Maines in 3rd. John Ellis Jr. in 4th, and Jeff Merck rounding out your top 5. Let's see if we've got a couple more notable picks up here. Dawson Wise, good recovery. He's back up inside the top 10 now. Ryan Baste, he's running in the top 10. And Baker, let's talk about this team for just a moment as well here. Clutch Gaming team. 3 guys, they seem to get better and better each week, but I feel like Ryan Baste has kind of been leading almost like a captain right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking at that damage that you were talking about with Andrew Navarro. That does not look good on the right front. Looks like his right toe is poked out as well. So I don't think that truck's really going to be doing too much work unless he's got someone on his front bumper the entire time.
Interesting to find out. He's got the incredible logo, Mr. Incredible, if you will, next to his name here. Caleb Carter. Pretty good looking paint scheme. The IMB Racewear. He sits in 12th position, up 14 from where he started. But again, another one of those newer drivers, and we always like to talk about these guys, the new guys, when they're doing good. Try to give everybody a shout out. A little hard sometimes. Andrew Clark up here having a pretty good run. How about Trevor Osbornoff? Been seeing him in a couple races. 89 truck inside your top 20. Ryan Borboom, believe this was his first race here tonight. He sits inside the top 20. Got a good run going as well. Tony's doing good. Back here, John Donnell. Been a little bit of a tough night for him, but he has been fighting. Been fighting all the way up. 31 spots from where he started, just outside the top 20 right now. Again, a lot of times you might think, well, running back just inside the top 20, it's not really that good of a run. When you have 50-something trucks, it sure is. Just above halfway through the field. And then Sean Hill, he's going to have a lot of work ahead of him here as he starts outside your top 30. But he's going to have a teammate in Cody Nagels, Heath Job, Casey Soul, Jesse Calloway, awesome drivers that we are seeing out here tonight. Good to see them all out here. And it looks like Jason Maines and Ashburn Billa are still on the pit. Sarah Clampert is as well, but I think she may have had to tow. So it's going to be a crazy restart here, Baker. And I don't really know who to bet on.
If Andrew's damage isn't as bad as I think it is, and he lines up on the inside, Tranquility Esports teammates, you've got Matt Lee and Andrew Navarro. Look for them to not leave each other, and then you've got Merck pushing Garrett, so he controls the destiny for Garrett. And as soon as that 3 wide comes, you bet your bottom dollar that Jeff Merck is going to go to the top, hang out Garrett, try and get around him here. Triscaro is going to be that first one to take it as well.
Well, let's see if we can get a quick interview with Michael Triscaro. Why don't let's see if we can pull him up.
Hey, Michael, this is Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, I'd have to say this racing bar none has been the best we've seen in a couple weeks, probably the last month. A lot of good green flag racing. Unfortunate what happened up front, a little bit of ARCA braking in the back, but how have you been navigating this race, staying up front and missing the wrecks?
Yeah, I was kind of got a little damage there. I still got full RPMs, but at this late in the race, with this last I had to stay out and gamble a little bit. So as long as my truck is not damaged too much, with this big a pack behind me, I should be good to go. It has been a great race, though. I agree with that. Probably the best 3-wide racing we've had in a while, with some long green flag runs. We almost had a green flag pit stop. So all in all, a good race overall. You guys are doing great. I'm sure RC is doing awesome tonight too. So appreciate everything you guys do. Hopefully I can luck into one of these wins.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. I'll let you get back to the green flag racing. Hopefully we talk to you here soon.
Bye, man. Take care.
And Baker, I gotta ask you, did he say luck into one of these wins?
I do think he said luck into one of these wins, but his left front is destroyed. Just about as bad as Navarro's is, but nonetheless, we're going to see how these trucks run, how their damage model gets. You see Ken McCullough, he's got a fast repair. He's got Josh McCullough in front of him, but look for Matt Lee and Andrew Navarro to stay hooked up here as the green flag is going to come out.
I thought it was ironic that he said luck, because Jason Maines once said, you got to have some skill to get up here, but you need a lot of luck to win one of these things. And we will see if that is the case for Michael Triscaro tonight. Off into turn 1 we go. 7 laps to go here at Talladega. 2x2. You're going to see that first 3 wide on the backstretch now. Dustin Carruthers, he's been trapped on the inside most of the night, but this is his chance. He's on the outside, and I think Michael Triscaro would go with him if he does. How about John Ward? We talked about McCall Motorsports struggles early. He now finds himself inside the top 10, maybe looking to make a move if he can get up top as well. 3 wide, a little bit further out back. Jeff Merck goes to make the move on the inside. Garrett Maines is all over it as he covers it up.
Yeah, it just looks like Navarro's damage is too much. Way too much damage in the right front, and he's not going to be able to keep up. He just got on the radio, talked about it. He had that 3 cars to clear from the top line. As you see, the clear to the middle line, great clear. from Matt Lee getting behind John Ward. Dustin Carruthers is going to clear to the bottom. John Ward's leading.
And how about it? Dustin Carruthers, one of the guys that you really kind of got to root for here to win. He's been so good so many times, just gets better and better each race, and he might be good enough to win it tonight, but not without contention from John Ward. John Ward's going to go ahead and jump right to the bottom. This is going to cause some problems for the 10 as he's going to have to tuck back in line. Meanwhile, up top, Matt Lee still leads the way. Garrett Maines third on the inside. Can he make anything work?
Man, Dawson Weiss, where did he come from that first wreck? And he's already back inside the top 10, looking for his first PGR win, having a great run here.
Matt Lee still getting pushed by Michael Triscaro. The damage doesn't seem to be too bad yet, but the outside now starting to fade a little bit. Further back, Sean Hill, 3 wide. He's making his way back to the front and doing it all by himself. Not getting much help. I think somebody sooner or later is going to jump out when they see that 77 continue to go to the front. John Darnell was trying to make it work too. Cody Nagels is going to try to drop him out of line. He is going to get a follow with that as well. Sierra Clampert, she's still sitting a little bit further towards the back. She's got work ahead of her, but I think she's maybe hoping for a caution and a couple other things to get back in this race. Meanwhile, up front, as they're trying to get 3 wide mid-pack, you got Garrett Maines. He found his way back to the lead using the outside line. They're going to be coming up on a lap truck. Things could get a little sketchy here for a moment. And to the outside goes Richard Elliott. Could he win this thing by himself? Oh, we got one off on the backstretch. Everybody's still trying to hang on to it. Can they merge without incident? And they
As
do.
you see, side by side, you got John Ward in the lead. Dustin Carruthers giving a great push. Those are the two cleanest trucks up there. Jeff Merck's got a little bit of damage, but he's able to keep that 3 trucks rolling on the back. You see Vicente Guerrero pull down to the apron. Great move, classy move from him. You're going to see 4 wide out back. Dawson Weiss going to be put all the way to the back, getting rolled through. You see John Ellis making his way back up here. Caution's going to come out.
Ooh, and the caution must have been for an incident further towards the back. Oh, it is. We got one truck around here. And that looks like the 89 of Trevor Osbornoth. 4th caution of the night comes here with 4 laps to go. Boy, Richard Elliott was impressing me right there. Again, by himself. A couple guys. Devin Ray made his way back into the top 10. And that 3rd line looked like there was a couple guys that would really love to get a win here tonight. They looked like they all had a shot at it. All of a sudden it faded away. But let's see what happens with this caution here. Coming out of the tribal, ooh, they were looking 4 wide. In fact, they were 4 wide. And going to get, looks like right rear. Not sure if the 89 came up or the 98 came down. From that view, we'll take a different angle of it here. And that was Dawson Wise, who we talked about having a good night. Slow it down for you here. Yeah, that looks like, yep, sure enough, the 89 gets up into the 98, and Dawson did not have any more room. When you don't have any more room, there's going to be contact, and there's going to be somebody ending up in the wall. But yet again, Baker, somehow, some way, the rest of the 25 to 32 trucks that go around, they all miss.
Yeah, everyone's doing great at the wreck avoidance. It's really fun to watch. And it's been fun watching this number 10 car of Dustin Carruthers having a great run. Let's see if we can pull him up, get him an interview. Hey, Dustin, this is Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? Hey, man, well, you're having a great run all day, staying on the bottom, 2nd or 3rd truck towards the bottom side there. How have you kept that truck out front, making those moves with John Ward, and how are you going to get it done tonight, get that win?
Just trying to keep the truck clean and out of trouble. Probably going to stay tucked behind John Ward and see if we can keep the truck safe and hopefully get a podium.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully you can get it done. It's been fun watching you up front here, working well with the McCullough Motorsports boys, and hopefully you get it done. Thanks for talking to us, Dustin.
Thanks, Matt.
So this is going to put us in our first overtime. Overtime rules, green, white, checkered. Going to have 2 laps to decide the winner of this thing. If we get a caution on the first one, then we will rack them up and try it again. However, if we take the white flag, all bets are off. This race is official. And if we pile them up, we will still crown a winner that same lap. Now, it looks like we're still trying to sort out the starting position here, and we'll see if we get the 1 to go signal this time. And it looks like we're not. We're going to go around one more time. And if you're in the chat watching tonight, I'll tell you what, we certainly appreciate you being here. It's been a phenomenal night. We have had anywhere between 35 to 45 viewers. You guys make it awesome. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget that Garrett Maines and Sierra Clampert are both streaming live on Twitch. We always appreciate them letting us give our channel a shout out, giving you guys the alternate angle up here in the broadcast. And if you're enjoying it, let us know. You don't have to necessarily like, subscribe, whatever you want to do helps. But even if you want to just let us know in the chat you're having a good time, we always appreciate it. And Jacob Emery says it's going to be a good finish, and you got that right. If it is any I guess even half of what we've seen here tonight is what the finish comes down to. It is going to be phenomenal. And Baker, you see Navarro had fallen back a little bit there. He's still got that damage, but somehow he is still up here towards the front half of the pack. So I guess the damage must not have been race ending.
No, but it just wasn't enough to help out Matt Lee there on the bottom. It really stacked up that bottom line, shuffled up the order, and now you don't see very many teammates near anyone. The only two teammates I see is Lee and Merck. Merck has a little a little bit of damage, so I would think for him to stay behind Matt Lee and give that push to Garrett Maines. Try and get him clear to the bottom. That way Lee can lead that top line.
Garrett Maines, one of the best of the best. Just funny how they always find themselves towards the front. It's just one of those things where guys always ask how do you do it, and it's you got to go to the front from the get-go. When you get to the front, you got to know how to stay up front. Dustin Carruthers, I got to be honest, I think he sticks with John Ward here. Those two, I know they've done some Dega Pros together. I think they get along pretty well, and I think this is one of those scenarios where maybe Dustin Carruthers, if he pushes John Ward to the win, he is going to make a good friend, and not only John Ward, but maybe a little bit of an alliance with All McCall Motorsports. They'll take note that their teammate got some help from a guy with not many teammates, if any, and I think this is a good opportunity for Dustin Carruthers for sure. Now going back, Logan York looks like he's made his way up here as well. Sean Hill made a nice recovery pretty much from all the way in the back, has somehow gotten all the way back to the front, and he is going to see if maybe he can go for this thing at the end.
Yeah, another good run is from Devin Ray. We want to shout out to Devin Ray. He donated at least $20 to broadcast and race control fees, so big shout out to him. Hopefully he finishes up here in the money, makes a little bit of that back, but great to see donations for those.
And Baker, I'm really glad that you shouted that out. Quick notes here, Clampert has retired from the race, but you know, a lot of these guys that maybe don't necessarily have a lot, they do these races, and then on top of that, they donate money for race control and broadcast, and that allows these payouts for all these drivers to be even bigger. And it just means a ton, even for us up here in the booth, that if guys like us enough to where they're willing to donate to pay for the fees, and you know, I feel like we try not to charge too much. We try to keep it reasonable, but still at the end of the day, I mean, hey, any money is a lot of money in terms of certain things, and we appreciate Devin Ray for his donations, and anybody out there that's given us donations, whether YouTube, Venmo, PayPal, whatever, broadcast fees, etc. It all means a ton, and we are getting ready to go back green for overtime number 1 here. Thursday night money racing from the PGR Intimidator Superspeedway Series.
Well, it's great to see some new names up here in the top 10. You know, Devin Ray, we just talked about. Nice to see Elliott up here. Navarro making his return. Logan York's had a good run this past week, so he's had a lot of momentum on his side. But, you know, you still have the usual suspects. You got Garrett Maines up front. He usually doesn't have luck in this PGR series, but looking to turn that around in a big fashion here, get a win off of a good third-place finish from his Firecracker prelim.
One more reminder, do not miss out. If you're watching tonight, you better be watching here next week because that's going to be a fun one. It's the PGR SummerSlam 75, $750 guaranteed, no matter of driver count, to the winner. And then, of course, there will be payouts 1st through 10th, but that $750 guaranteed to win. This should be an eye catcher, at least I would hope so. And you don't want to miss out that one for sure. $34 entry. If you're interested, go check it out. Going to be the only marquee event, I believe, of the summer for the PGR Intimidator Superspeedway Series. Going to be a good one, and it probably will sell out. We already have 12 entries as of before this race, and that's only in 2 days of advertising. 60 max entries. Going to be a fun one. All right, here we go. 2-lap shootout, green-white checkered. John Ward looking to add to his win list here in the PGR Superspeedway Series. Green flag back in the air. Dustin Carruthers does not get a great restart. Matt Lee is going to beat Garrett Maines in the back bumper here as soon as he gets to him down into turn 1. If the one gets clear, does he drop lower? Does he stay up? I think he's going to stay high.
Jeff Merck taking a little bit to get wound up through the gears. He was caught a little bit sleeping. That's going to even out the bottom. You're going to see a caution come out.
We have another wreck out back. Hate to see that get a little messy here towards the end, but got a couple guys. Ooh, Heath Joe, 760 is going to slide down here. 760 graphics. I don't know why I just realized that. But shout out to him, 760 graphics. John Darnell, he spins. This one looks like a lot of harmless spins, but there was definitely some big hits to the outside wall. But let's go to the, see if we can see this from TV follow. This wreck happens further up, but it's going to collect quite a few guys. Let's go up here. Does Jason Maines get involved? Let's see if we can tell where this starts. It's going to start further up.
Looks like Chris Vanderplat's right there with the 99 as well, and he had the 43. He just tried to put it in a hole that wasn't there. squeeze him to the outside, and then everyone else just not checking up in time, wrecking out. Cody Nagel's involved, Trevor Osmernath, Jason Maines, Dylan Jones.
I gotta be honest, I don't really see the progress to be made by that move. I mean, I think unless the 99 has damage, I think you stick to him. But at the same time here, this is kind of going to be a learning experience for John Darnell. I mean, it's happened to both of us before, Baker. You leave that middle line open just enough, and there's certain guys, they will take it. They will not hesitate. And then I think once he was there, we'll take a look from the chopper view. John may have came down a little bit, maybe trying to throw a block or not. Let's see does he come up? Does he come down? Yeah, it looks like John maybe comes down after he found that hole. But, you know, these guys were further towards the back. I think I'd like to see them maybe just work together and push their way up there instead so they all have a shot at it. Instead, it's going to end in a pretty big wreck. Looks like Jason Maines was in it up front. Mike Davenport was involved. Heath Job we talked about. A lot of guys that were having good nights and then lost track position. That's why track position is so key. Situations like this, you find yourself to the back. Next thing you know, you're in trouble and you get in one of these wrecks. And at this late in the stage or race, Baker, I think if you're outside the top 20, your chances at getting the money start to really become slim.
Yeah, definitely you're going to have to be patient, but someone who doesn't have to be patient, he's going to have Dustin Caruthers on his back bumper is John Ward. See if we can get a word with him here. Hey, John, it's Matt on Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? Hey, John, it's Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
And he might be muted for just a moment, so we'll give him a second. See if he can't get it sorted out. Ron Morris Jr. still rooting on McCall Motorsports. Let's get it going. Bear Palm says, beer and racing, always a great time. And that is the combo that Ambrose Knievel might be rocking tonight. Of course, one of the fan favorites. Quick checkup on him. His internet has been having some issues. And it looks like that may have came back to bite him tonight, as, yeah, he is unfortunately disconnected from the session. Tough break for Ambrose Knievel, but full payouts tonight. In fact, you know, as what we've seen the last couple weeks, Baker, the payouts are actually going to be more than what's stated. So the winner could be going home with more than 200, or the payouts might be split further towards the back of the field. But either way, another night of just phenomenal payouts, and we love to see it.
Yeah, another great turnout, and another great race by all these guys up front. Another guy that's had bad luck in this PGR this whole time, but finally having a little bit of luck on his side. Hopefully we're not jinxing him, but Garrett Maines, let's see if we can talk to him here. Hey, Garrett, it's Austin and Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
Well, your luck so far has seemed to turn around for PGR. I know I'm giving the commentators curse, but giving you a little bit of a hard time. But you're off a third place finish of the prelim and the Firecracker. A little bit different racing here, actually a lot different. But you guys are making it work. You got one of the best pushers behind you, Matt Lee, former teammate Jeff Merck, lined up behind them. How confident are you feeling about this restart here?
I'm definitely hoping we can make something happen. I mean, I don't want to hear you saying that too soon. I'm like, this is definitely the curse, but we'll see. I mean, we didn't exactly get the luck last week. We were up front both races and got wrecked at the very end. So, you know, fingers crossed we can finally finish one of these out.
Well, nonetheless, it's good to see you up front towards a green-white checkered. Usually it's would tend to go where your luck goes sour, but we're hoping for a good finish from you here and get another Maines dub. It'll be back-to-back week for you guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So our second overtime here, I believe we have unlimited now. That was one of the rules that was changed a couple weeks ago. Went from 3 to unlimited. Now, race control's been doing a great job, I got to say, especially here tonight, what we're seeing, Baker. I mean, you know, you think about 5 cautions, it might sound like a lot. You got to think we just had 2 here for the overtime, but before that, 3 or 4 cautions throughout the 45-lap race, which they were 3 wide for probably 40 of the 45 that we raced. I mean, it has been a great race, and if we can get a great finish here, I'm already pretty excited, and it just made me that much more excited for next week.
Absolutely. It's been phenomenal racing. Really excited to see this restart, and like you said, we have unlimited green-white checkers now. So we're going to see a finish to this race. Either it's going to turn to darkness, or we're going to see a finish to the race. Hopefully we get the finish to the race here on the green-white checkered. But I look for Matt Lee to stay to the back bumper here. I don't know if Dustin is as great a pusher as Matt is, but they're going to not have the support behind with Merck because Merck has a little bit of damage. Not saying Dustin isn't a great pusher, but they're just not going to have that third truck that they need. And Jeff Merck is going to look to go top of 3 as soon as he can as well.
Woo! Ooh, well, I'll tell you what, 7C's events. He might be ready for about 10 overtimes because he's just going to go in and drop the $10 super chat donation. 7C's, thank you so much. Been a phenomenal night. Cannot thank you guys enough on the super chat. Getting ready for this next restart, and that might fire us up just that much more. Here we go, working our way through 3 and 4. Another 2-lap shootout, but again, we're going to have to take the white flag to make this thing official. Man, I don't know who to bet on at this point. I think I like John Ward's position, but Garrett Maines, he's a veteran out here. He always knows how to find a way. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we got 2 damaged trucks in the 3rd row with Jeff Merck and Michael Triscaro. Merck has a little bit less damage than Triscaro. Triscaro's got that right front, so look for even pushes from the top and bottom line. Pace car is going to pull off here. We're going to get another great restart. Hopefully we keep it clean in the back, because you know up front it's going to get crazy. The 2 McCullough Motorsports guys are lined up on the top line with Logan York in front of them and Devin Ray looking to go with the McCullough Motorsports boys to the front.
Best part of broadcasting, you commentate a whole race just to lose your voice in the last 2 laps. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air. One more restart, hopefully, here at Talladega. Garrett Maines off to a good jump, and he's going to have a choice here. Does he jump up top, and is he trying to drag Matt Lee with him? We will see, but down into turn 1, John Ward falling back. Now Dustin Carruthers gets on his bumper. The 04 and the 1 go to the top. Does John Ward think about a move? Now he goes back to the bottom in front of Michael Triscaro. Garrett Maines, no block. He's going to stick up top. Does the 10 of Dustin Carruthers think about making a 3rd line?
Oh, he's going to get turned by Jeff Merck down into the inside. They're going to all wreck behind. Oh, what a
caution is
heartbreaker
out
for Dustin Carruthers.
Oh, and Andrew Navarro's gets spun. Oh, that is heartbreak.
It looks like Merck had no choice. I mean, up the track a little bit Carruthers was, but Devin gets to the back bumper of Merck there, and just nothing he can do.
Dustin Carruthers was having such a good night. He was doing everything right. We'll have to see how bad his damage is, but nonetheless, it's going to set him back, and we talk about setbacks late in this race. A lot of times they're just too hard to overcome. All right, here we go. Let's back it up here, go to the chop review, and take a look at what brings out their 6th caution here of the night. That is a tough break. And, you know, sometimes when you're getting pushed in the corner here, well, actually, he looks a little high before Merck ever gets to him. Starts to come down, and that little bit of push from Merck, sometimes it will push these trucks a little bit up, and then he gets a little too far up. And unfortunately, at this point, yeah, Merck, even if he was trying to lift, not much he could do. He did have Devin Ray on his bumper, and Devin at the same time, nothing he could do. He can't really see. He's just hoping that all 3 guys are lined up and steady so that they can tandem. Tough break for Richard Elliott as well. He had no teammates and was having a heck of a night. John Ellis Jr. looking like this is going to hurt his chances at the trifecta challenge as he slammed the inside wall. And then after that, looks like just about everybody else was able to make it through. Taking a couple more views of it here. There's Richard Elliott, locks it down. Sean Hill does a pretty good save. Yeah, so Dustin Carruthers actually does save it overall, but it's just that track position that he lost from it that's what's really going to cost him, and just not being enough time to really make it back up.
Yeah, I can't really fault Merck for that. I mean, he's up half a lane. It looks like he's going high, and then he tries to tuck back in line, but Merck has a guy on his back bumper. There's not much he can do. You could bail all the way out of throttle, slam on the brakes, but that's going to wreck everyone behind.
Yeah, and I certainly agree. From everything that I saw there, it didn't look like anybody, in my opinion, really did wrong. Like I said, maybe the 10, you know, sometimes when they get a push, these guys can push in the corners with these trucks, as for some reason we're 4 wide here, 2 rows deep under caution. But either way, you can very well push in the corner with these trucks. And in fact, that's kind of what you have to do to make progress. And Merck wasn't necessarily even pushing yet. He just kind of gave him a little tap after he had already been a little high. And I wondered if that tap just got Devin a little tight, or excuse me, Dustin a little tight, and if he didn't really expect it, didn't turn down quick enough, or if he was just running a little bit higher, maybe he was trying to drag guys up. But then, of course, Devin Ray, who was behind, just doing his job as well, trying to push guys forward. 3-truck tandems definitely work. Unfortunately, in that case, it didn't work. But Baker, we're seeing everybody on the apron here. There's maybe a little fuel game, a little fuel saving going on.
You're getting close to the fuel window. We're around 19 laps in that since they pit last. They've had a lot of laps under caution, but they're definitely running on fumes here. They're going to be probably 2 green-white checkers before you're going to see people start peeling off and pitting from the front. But the people towards the middle and back that have pit already are good to go.
Ken McCall Jr. from McCall Motorsports, he has now made his way back up inside the top 10. And just to add to that drama, I mean, if we didn't have enough drama, that fuel situation is going to make things that much more tense, that much more crazy. One of the guys that's been in the top 5 for most of the nights that we haven't got an interview from yet is going to be Jeff Merck. Let's see if we can bring him in here.
And Austin standing by with Jeff Merck here.
And just as we get him in, hey Jeff, this is Austin Baker up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
All right, well, we talked about you've been in the top 5, definitely the top 10 for most of the night here, but big money on the line. First of all, how's your fuel situation looking?
There's a reason we're on the apron. We got a couple more left. Nothing too crazy, but these restarts have been kind of wild, especially up front. Everybody knows how much money's on the line, so it's getting a little hairy.
It certainly is, but you also know how much money's on the line here. So, you know, we feel like we know the strategy. We've seen it. I got to assume 3 wide, but let's put yourself in a scenario here. If you get to the front, do you think about trying to just block all 3 lanes at different points, or is there a certain lane you try to stick with?
Yeah, if you're up front, that's probably a bad place to be coming off of 4. I don't think you want to be the leader, because if you do, you're going to try to block, and you're probably going to get wrecked, to be honest with you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to work with our teammate that's in front of me here, and then go like hell.
Sounds like a pretty good plan to me. Well, we hear you saving some fuel, so we'll let you continue your job as we get ready to take the green. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see if maybe we're talking to you at the end of this thing in victory lane.
Yes, sir. Hopefully, I'm hoping that's what happens.
That's Jeff Merck in the 60 truck. For NBG Motorsports, they started out on fire tonight, and then of course had a couple issues here and there, but nonetheless, racing's been good. This is going to put us to that 3rd overtime, and with the old rules, this would have been the final overtime, and I got to be honest, I'm glad that's not the case. Nothing that I hate worse than ending a money race that I feel like everyone pays good money for, to at least say they had a chance, at least to be in control of your truck when you come across the line. I never was a fan of ending these kind of races under caution, so glad that we're not going to have to worry about that tonight. But hoping these guys can clean it up here so that we can get that good finish.
Yeah, it's great race in the beginning. We had some back half problems with ARCA braking towards the beginning of the race, but it just seems like we talk about it, caution breeds cautions. Once you get down to crunch time, everyone's looking at their fuel numbers, everyone's trying to get to that white flag so they can get to the end of the race. The intensity picks up, but you know I'm looking at this bottom row. I see Sean Hill, Jeff Merck, Matt Lee, and Garrett Maines light up on the bottom. That is a tough 4 trucks to get lined up on the bottom and to compete with. You see the pace car is going to pull down. You've got the McCullough Motorsports guys. You got Joshua McCullough, Ken McCullough lined up. They're 4th and 5th on the top line, as hopefully this is our last green white checkered here, coming to take the restart.
Rolling up, getting closer, and then we'll be inside the Geico restart zone. Do we see Garrett Maines go for a jump, or does he go on green? It looks like he's going to go on green, so it is going to be a pretty good even start, but Matt Lee, not sure if he got away from the one or what. He is going to get off to the races already on the back bumper, and they might have a little teamwork going here in the sense of they're both going to try to work their way to the top just as they did last restart, but John Ward's trying to get there. He can't quite do it, and the 04 is going to have a choice here. Does he stick with Garrett? Do they both move up? Jeff Merck now, he gets clear for a second, not quite able to make the move though in time as they enter the backstretch.
I think Matt Lee's going to stay tucked up here. Michael Truscaro's going to give a good push. Just as I say that, Matt Lee to the top. He's going to get a huge shove from John Ward. Jeff Merck to the back bumper of Garrett Maines. Garrett Maines in a great position right now on the bottom with Jeff Merck and teammate Sean Hill lined up on the bottom. Devin Ray is going to get a shot from Kim McCullough. This is where the 3 wide's going to come into action. Maybe you see Truscaro hop up there. He wants to win. He doesn't want to ride in line. Look for him to jump to the top of 3, hang those 2 out in the middle, and it's going to give Garrett the clearance to the middle that he needs.
Over 45 laps, and it's all going to come down to one more. White flag is in the air.
Oh,
here we go, Talladega
out.
Redkin. Oh, man, and we were about 50 feet from the line when the caution flew. Big wrecking out back. Let's go check it out. I thought we actually got to the line, but we did not. And there's the 55 of Mike Davenport. Looks like he's been involved. He's got some damage. I know a couple others involved in this as well. Looks like Heath Job, another tough break for him. Mark Von Dell, he's got heavy front and rear end damage. It's going to put us into our 4th overtime. Man, we're starting to add them up here. Let's take a look. And this is entering the trial. Oh, it was the 15.
Oh, man. I'm hearing fuel is done. Garrett Maines is going to be out of fuel here.
Well, if he's out, I got to think some other guys are out. First, though, before we get to that, taking a look at the wreck. That's a hard one to say on whether or not. Well, actually, it's not that hard to say, I guess. It looks like the 15 of William Fox comes down and hooks Mike Davenport. But let's take a look from the chopper view to confirm. Yeah, it's pretty close. 55 maybe inching up just a little bit, but they get together and a couple big shots. 55 up in the air, so is the 59. They all pile it up into the outside wall. Collects 4 or 5 trucks. So I guess good news in the sense that we didn't collect as many trucks as it could have, but bad news for any guys that are involved, especially Heath Job. It's been a tough night for him and just going to get tougher with that incident right there.
Oh, man, you're going to see Matt Lee. He stays out. Jeff Merck comes down pit road. Triscaro down. John Ward down. MBG is going to be 1, 2, 3. I don't know how they got their well, you know how they got their fuel numbers. They wrecked up front earlier. Oh, man, and now they got the fuel to make it.
This is going to get tense because, you know, Garrett and everybody just, well, pretty much everybody that's behind him, they're all ready to go back to the front. And with only 2 laps to do it, at a certain point here, we're going to wreck out too many trucks to where we're not going to have any more wrecks. There won't be enough trucks, but you see now it looks like 46 on back, so probably we're getting closer to 10 trucks now out of this race, a couple more with damage. Ryan Baste does a pretty good job now as he's going to be restarting towards the front with Danny Barnes. Looks like, was that Brock Westmoreland that might be up here as well? Sure enough, it is. He would like a good finish. He's up 36 from where he started. And the question all becomes how far back does Garrett Maines come out? Looks like he is going to be starting 17th. He's going to have a lot of work ahead of him here in these last 2 laps, Baker.
I just don't know. I think that Jeff Merck is running on fumes right now. I think he is. You see Jeff Merck getting pushed from Sean Hill. He's clutch, probably has the engine off and is getting pushed around by Sean Hill, who is better on gas here.
Boy, if he sputters in the front of the pack, that would be an absolute disaster. It's going to be close, though, so we'll have to see what happens. These guys are going to be coming to one to go next time. We are going to take one more side-by-side break. Well, I guess I should say, make sure you stick around for the finish. We'll be right back. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets into the lead under record.
3x3 entering 4.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning at Talladega. Back live here at Talladega Superspeedway for overtime number 4. If you are just tuning in, we appreciate you being here with Matthew Baker and Austin Green here on Ghost Racing Network. Man, setting up for quite the interesting top 10 here. In fact, let's talk about it. Matt Lee, Jeff Merck, Sean Hill, no surprise there. That's your top 3. Ryan Baste, 4th. Danny Barnes in 5th. Both of those guys, how big would a win be? Their first win here if they can get it done tonight. Brock Westmoreland as well in the 12 truck. Can he get it done? He sits in 6th spot. 6th position. Todd Macy going to be 7th. Andrew Montes Diaca in 8th. Casey Sold 9th. I mean, Baker, this is not a top 10 that we're used to seeing, but with this much money and a chance at their first win on the line, these guys are going to put it all out there.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch my team try and work the front here with the top 3, but I'm looking for Nash Rambilla, Dylan Jones, Kevin Freese to get to that top of 3. Get around these cars that haven't been up front most of the time. You see Garrett Maines back in 16th. I don't know if he has enough time, but he's got a fresh truck and Andrew Navarro behind him. So this is going to be a crazy restart. We thought the beginning of this race was nuts. Get ready.
The only thing crazier than this restart is going to be if we can take the white flag that final lap. All right, here we go into the Geico restart zone. NBG Motorsports looking to get the job done here. They got the top 3 right now. Will it stand? Green flag is back in the air. 2 laps to go here at Talladega. The 04 of Matt Lee, he's off to a pretty good jump. They're going to try to stay even. I don't look to see Sean Hill make a move. And Jeff Merck, at this point, is just hoping that 73 sticks behind him. But, you know, Garrett Maines, who it looks like is already looking to the middle. Sure enough, he is. Here he comes through the middle. A couple guys are going to leave it open, and Andrew Navarro is going to follow 3 wide towards the middle of the pack as they enter the back stretch. We got one down. That's Kevin Freese. He's going to take a big shot off the inside wall.
Oh, they're pushing through each other on the top lane. That's going to cause a wreck here, but they're going to keep it together. NBG's lined up by 2 on the middle line, 1 on the bottom. You got Danny Barnes, a great run for him. Alejandro on the bottom. In the 3rd position, you see Sean Hill come to the top. NBG's lined up by 3. Nashman Bill is giving a great shot to the number 12 car of Brock Westmoreland. Look for him to have a great finish. Ryan Bass, another good truck here in the middle. 3 by 3. NBG's leading by 3 in the middle. They're both clear down to the bottom if they want it. Leave Merck to stay as the white flag's going to come out.
Oh, they're wrecking big out back. Huge wreck. The whole second half of the pack is in it. It collects literally everybody that's probably 20th on back, but up front, we still stay green. Now that's the final lap, and we're staying clean. We got a couple rookies looking for their first win. Danny Barnes has Sean Hill drop in front, but Brock Westmoreland, how big would it be if he can hold on? He's on the top line, and he's getting a push from Nash Rambilla. More wrecking out back. You see it down on the bottom of your camera, but up front, still 3 by 3. Going to be one more time out of turn 4. Brock Westmoreland, can Nash Rambilla push him to a win? Can we keep it green? Here we go down the short chute. Gonna work our way into the travel for the final time.
4 wide, Dylan Jones to the top.
Can he make a run? 4 by 4 coming to the line. It is gonna be a photo finish. Here we go at the line. It's gonna go to Sean Hill, I think, got it.
Sean Hill in first, Matt Lee second, Danny Barnes third, Jeff Merck fourth. Great run to the finish there.
By less than 1,000th of a second, he beat his teammate. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? That's got to be the best finish I think we have ever seen.
That was a great finish. That 4 wide move was just a little bit too late. I think if they would have taken it to the trioval or down the back, they would have had a little bit more of a chance. But nonetheless, what a finish from some of these new guys out here. Or should I not say new guys, but guys you're not used to seeing up front here. Danny Barnes, a podium finish. What a finish for him. Alejandro, a great finish in 5th. Ryan Bass in 6th there. Taking
a look at this last lap. A couple things break down. First, the big wreck, the 85. Devin Ray, Chad Ross, they're going to get together here. Wasn't sure, is a push gone wrong or does somebody drift up? Ooh, looks like the 69, I think that is, comes down into Devin Ray, into Chad Ross, 38, and then the wreck's on from there. Of course, last lap, full throttle. Everybody is full gas, trying to make it work. And now we're going to just kind of watch here. Actually, we'll fast forward it a little bit to the end of this thing because that's where it really gets exciting. That was a phenomenal move from Dylan Jones. With his teammate Garrett Maines, that's the perks of having such talented guys. They can make that 4th line work when it counts. And here we go. This is where things are really going to get wild. So we're going to let it go from here. Out of 4 up front. At this point, I thought the 12 really had it. And then that 4th line was just all of a sudden what made me think, man, maybe Dylan Jones has it. And then into the tribal, you see side by side between the teammates, and they're going to race this thing down to the wire. And the only thing better than getting a win is when your teammates finish 1-2 in a photo finish fashion. And look how close this is. Matt Lee didn't even have a push. I cannot believe he held that strong with no push at the end. But he did as they all pile up on the outside. And
I
what
think
a
Merck
win.
just gave him a shot right at the end there. And he was able to keep him there. He got him out of the trioval. It was a great push. Good teamwork there, holding off everyone. I thought that 3 wide was going to get them out to lunch, but they were able to hold their own there in a great position.
Closest finish that we have ever seen in PGR history, that's for sure. And we got some interviews coming up, so make sure you stick by. We're going to hear from your top 3 and more. All right, here we go. We're going to start with your third place finisher, Matthew Baker, standing by with Danny Barnes.
Hey, Danny, it's Austin and Matt up in the booth. You got a copy? Danny Barnes, this is Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, all day you were up front. Great finish by you. Glad you got the track position before all the chaos started happening behind you. How'd you get it done? It seemed like you stuck to that bottom line no matter what. We're committed to it. You were able to get the help you needed, and then you were able to give the help to Sean Hill at the end there. How'd you get it done?
Man, it was a fight. I restarted that one restart 32nd after I got in that one wreck, and then it was like 21st, then 18th, and next thing I know, I'm in the top 5, and I'm like, I can't really believe how I got there. I can't explain it.
Well, nonetheless, a great battle of perseverance. Good to see you out here finishing in the podium spot, getting to talk to us. Anyone to thank or shout out?
I just want to shout out to the PGR guys and thank them for letting me come on board.
Well, awesome. Good to see a Team PGR guy get into the podium spot. Hopefully we talk to you again, Danny. Thanks for talking to us, buddy.
Thank you.
And that's going to lead us right on, moving on through to your second place finisher. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring him in here. That's going to be Matthew Lee. Matt Lee, you got a copy?
Gotcha.
All right, well, it was a good race overall. Got a little crazy there at the end, but the finish was phenomenal. Break us down the drag race to the line with your teammate there at the end.
Yeah, we were just like really just trying not to wreck because I mean we were getting door banged from the top and it was hairy, but it was a great finish. What a great race! Sucks that all those cautions came, but fun race.
Cautions or not, you guys were really fast and up front for most of the race. Kind of tell the people at home, what is it, when you come to these races, we see the separate strategies. Some guys like to stay in the back, some guys stay up front. Why is it that you guys like to try to stay up front from the drop of the green?
Well, I really like to stay up front because, I feel like, some of me, Baker, the guys that work together, Cody, Alex, we communicate well together and, understand what we need to do. The truck got really hot really quick tonight, so we were good at cycling and, just staying up there, just staying out of the hornet's nest,
Certainly was. Well, congrats on the second place finish tonight. Going to be a good payday for you and your teammates. And before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, big shout out to Cody and Merrick and Alex. Alex did a great job doing what he needed to do at the end there, making the moves that we needed to make to keep us all up there. So, and then all the guys at Martin Sports for everything they do. Anyone looking for like sim racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that, check them out. martinsports906.com. And all the guys at Tranquility Esports.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, Austin.
And that's going to bring us up to your winner, Alex Hill, where Matthew Baker stands by with his teammate.
Hey, Alex, this is Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, talk me through getting back to the front after getting turned from the lead there. It looked like Kevin really didn't mean to, kind of got on your inside and it looked like it hooked you, but it was a netcode hook that was out of nowhere. But talk to us how you got back to the front, kept that fuel strategy good, and got that win ultimately.
Yeah, Kevin definitely didn't do it intentionally. He's not that type of person, but yeah, we restarted 31st on lap 39, and we took fuel. We took fuel then. We had just more than the rest, and I don't know how I did it. I'm gonna be honest, but man, we were cutting up. Teammates helped me. Oh my gosh, man, that was probably the best drive of my life. Went from 30th to 15th in 2 laps. And then from there, it was just I was in it, and I was in it to win it. So we did all we could, man. Big thank you to the teammates too. They were a big part of me getting back up there. Cody, Jeff, Matt, Dawson, we were working with a little bit today, so big thank you to them.
Well, that was what I was going to ask. Ness, any sponsors, teammates you want to shout out? Go ahead.
Yep, everyone at MBG, Ghost Racing Network for broadcasting this, and big thank you to Mike for putting this thing on.
Absolutely. Well, you got the win. Hopefully you guys can carry the momentum into next week for the SummerSlam 75. Hope to see you guys registered up for that soon.
Definitely. We'll be there.
All right, and that's going to lead us into results here for tonight. We just talked to your top 3, Sean Hill, Matt Lee, and Danny Barnes. Jeff Merck, finishes 4th tonight. Alejandro Montes de Oca in 5th. Ryan Bay 6th. Nash Brambilla 7th. Brock Westmoreland, good run for him tonight in 8th. Dylan Jones 9th. And Todd Macy rounding out your top 10.
And in 11th, we've got Casey Soul. Great run for him out there. Garrett Maines almost getting back up into the money in that 4-wide move. He gets 12th. Jesse Calloway 13th. Gabe Butler, good recovery in 14th. John Ellis Jr. 15th. Andrew Navarro 16th. Cole Fitzpatrick in 17th. Ryan Boatburn in 18th. J.R. Miller in 19th. Logan York in 20th.
Dawson Wise 21st. Jason Maines 22nd. James Kaufman 22nd. Jason Maines 23rd. Cody Nagels 24th with Trevor Oswordoth in 25th. Ken McCall Jr. 26th. Caleb Carter 27th. John Darnell 28th. 29th. Chris Vanderplatz. Richard Elliott 30th after a tough break towards the end.
Devin Ray in 31st. Good to see him up towards the front. Unlucky towards the end. Kevin Freese got turned down on the inside. He was having a great run all night. Really controlling the field. Hope to see him out next week to control the field once more. Chad Ross in 33rd. 34th, you got David Cheese. John Ward, another McCullough Motorsports guys that we talked about being in the back all day, but once it mattered, he was up front. Just not able to get the job done after having to pit for fuel. Joshua McCullough in 36th. 37th, Andrew Clark. Vicente Guerrero in 38th, Larry Bew in 39th, and Dustin Carruthers in 40th.
41st, Thomas Parker. Michael Triscaro 42nd. William Fox 43rd with Mike Davenport 44th. Mark Vondell in 45th. Heath Job 46th. Tony Placonica in 47th. John Mullihan 48th. Daryl Young in 49th. Sarah Clampert 50th. Ambrose Kniebel 51st. Jackson Buys in 52nd. And Dylan Basson, last in the field tonight, finishes in 53rd position. Well, I'll tell you what, it was a very, very fun race tonight. Enjoyed every moment of it. And I cannot wait for next week if it's even half of what we saw tonight. But I think it's going to be even better. The payouts are going to be bigger. The field is hopefully going to be big. And the race is going to be longer.
Yeah, excited to see who you announce as the free entry, how you're going to determine that for this SummerSlam 75, so people be looking out for that. But nonetheless, I'm excited for next week. Ready for a big call and a marquee event, and it's going to be a great show.
Going to have to keep an eye on how we decide to do that giveaway. We'll have more info in the Discord. Speaking of Discords, if you're interested in joining the racing in the PGR Superspeedway Series, Intimidator Superspeedway Series, we do have the Discord link in the description, along with the Ghost Racing Network Discord link as well. Huge night in Super Chat. Again, I wish I could tell you guys how much it meant up here in the booth. Trying to keep the composure is hard to do when you got people going that crazy. $3 from Chris Carter, $10 from Baker's mom, $10 from Ron Morris Jr., another $4 from Chris Carter. Going all the way down late in the going, we had an overtime clutch up from 7C's Events with another $10 donation. So I cannot thank you all enough. We'll have some of that updated and more. Ghost Racing Network now has merch. We will see you all next week. FEG tomorrow for Ghost Racing Network. Make sure you tune into that. But until next Thursday, till tomorrow night, have a good one.